Hi, my name is Victor. Welcome to this video. Today I will be demonstrating a yoga sequence to improve your flexibility with Cube 7. You will need your Cube 7 to be filled up a quarter full or maybe to at most half full. Let's get started. Now we're going to start from a heart opening position. So we're going to start from the cube on the floor to the top half of the yoga mat. And you're just going to lie down on the cube. Okay, and where you will be lying down, it's also quite crucial. You want to lie down on the upper back section of the back, but not the lower back. So you want to move away from the cube a little and lean back. Okay, so you should feel that the cube will be kind of right between the shoulder blades or just below. Now you feel that your head is hanging back. If that's not comfortable, simply cross your fingers behind your head and create a pillow for your head. Yeah? With your feet, feel free to keep the knees bent for more stability. If you want to add a hip opening, you can bring your feet together and open your knees wide. Or simply reach your legs forward. And feel free to try all those three and see which one feels better. And you notice that with this channel, you see other videos with lots of workout, and even with my own video, the other one with yoga for strength. And in this video is a very good complement to all those other videos to help you open up, to improve your flexibility, because you need this range of motions to help you train better and prevent injury. Take a few more deep breaths here. If it feels good, you can even reach your arms forward and see how it feels. And in this video, all the poses are held a little bit longer because your body takes time to open up, so no need to rush. Observe your breathing. Good, now to come out, you can support your head first. Bring your chin to your chest and slowly walk your feet back. And simply push yourself back up. Good. And then now I'm going to put the Cube 7 aside. I'm going to squat down into what we call a hero pose. Now, normally hero pose is done with the feet outside the hips and knees together. But if this is impossible, you can just kneel down like normal. Okay? Now, reach your arms up and grab the opposite elbows. So from the side, it looks a bit like this. And from the back, it looks a bit like this. So you want your body to be fairly upright. Okay? You can even use your head to gently press your arms back to increase the shoulder stretch. What you want to avoid is to arch your lower back, because then you're actually stretching your lower back, but not the upper back. Because today we'll be focusing a lot on the upper back and the hips, and then eventually your lower back. Once you're here for maybe 5 to 10 deep breaths, change the way you grab your elbows. Again, use your head to gently press the forearms back. Keep the core in gently to prevent too much of a lower back extension, and feel the gentle stretch in your shoulders. Take a few more deep breaths here for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release. Feel free to roll your shoulders from time to time during this exercise today. You then need to pick up your Cube 7. Reach your Cube 7 up, and now bending the elbows. Okay, so the weight of the Cube 7 will help you stretch your shoulders. Now again, avoid arching into the lower back too much. You want to bring the hips in. And the other thing you should avoid is to have the elbows too wide like this. See if you can bring the elbows roughly shoulder width. Now, if you want to go deeper slightly, simply extend the arms back a little bit and allow the weight of Cube 7 to help you stretch your shoulders a little bit more. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. If you have the arms extended further back, bring them in first so you can slowly release. put this down. Again, feel free to roll your shoulders and then reverse. Now we'll do one at a time. In this one, because you only have one hand to hold the cube 7, so you might feel a little bit more wobbly, less stable. So we start with one hand, and you hold it. You bring it close to the head first. When you keep the weight close to the center of gravity of your body, it's a lot more stable. But then from now, as I extend back, you may start to feel a little bit unstable. So you use the other hand to grab the elbows to protect your shoulders. And feel free to just let the cube 7 to drag you down. Keep breathing. If this feels good and steady enough, you can release the other hands, but otherwise feel free to keep it there at all times. I'm just gonna turn around so you know what it looks like. And if this is still easy enough, then you reach back. But otherwise, you keep it close to your body. Okay, you can come down first to change side, but if you feel steady enough, you can just change on the other side in mid-air. Again, start with the hand to the elbow for stability, for safety. Safety always comes first in any kind of practice. Or extend back a little bit without arching. So this is not good. Keep it core tight and body fairly upright. For 5, 4, 3, keep breathing, 2, and 1. Now, to come out, bring it close to the body first, and slowly swivel down and release. So that's your shoulder stretch from this motion of the body. But let's do some side stretch. So you may wonder why we want to stretch the shoulders, because a lot of the tightness in our neck and neck pain comes from tight shoulders. Simply, we do some side stretches without the cube 7 first. And you can bring your fingertips to the floor. In this case, I have the right fingertips, and reach, reach, reach. Good. Now, notice from here, your left butt would want to lift off the ground. So you want to keep it on the ground or on the heel. You do that, you push down to the right hand firmly, reach the fingertips a little bit more for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release, change side. Left hand on the ground, right arm up, and walk the fingertips away. Keep the right butt cheek on your heel or on the ground for 5, 4, you can even look up, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release. Now we add the cube 7 back to the practice. Remember, cube 7 has weight. It can also help you go deeper. Now I'm gonna bring it close to my center line first. Then I'm gonna allow the weight to stay on the shoulder first. Right hand on the floor, and I'm gonna start walking away from my center line. Now, make sure your left hip is still on the ground, and then push my body to the left-hand side. Good. Notice how the weight here is helping me go deeper into the side stretch. Keep breathing. You can look up, maybe a smile if you like, for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now to come out, you walk your body back to center line first. If you can't lift the cube 7 up on your arm, on your own, you use the other hand to help and simply swift to the other side. Okay? Now you can of course start with out first, or you can go straight to the cube. So left hand down to the floor, push your body back to the right hand side. Yeah? Guys, if you have tighter shoulders, if you're pretty strong into the shoulders, feel free to fill it up a little bit more. Remember what I said earlier, the cube can be a quarter full or half full. And slowly release and bring your weight back to center first. Use the other hand to help. Place it aside, roll your shoulders, reverse. Now we'll come into downward facing dog. Just a quick reminder of what a down dog looks like. Down dog is, or downward facing dog is when your body in an inverted V shape. Feel free to bend the knees. I want your upper back to be super long. Now, if you now have a down dog, I'm gonna do 2 versions of down dog with the cube 7. One is an easier version with the chest kind of resting on the cube. So you kind of have to find a place first and it's rolling, so I'm just gonna keep it to my chest. And there. If you have trouble staying in down dog, this will give you quite a bit of support. Feel free to bend the knees. Notice my down dog here is also slightly longer. That's also fine. Good, and slowly release. There's a very nice way to stretch the upper back. Now, if you want to stretch your neck in down dog as well, I'll give you a little bit of a trick here. Place the chin on the cube so that when you're doing your down dog, you're looking up. It gives you a little bit of pressure and pressing up, so it will look a bit like this. You can start from the floor, all fours first. So it's very hard for me to talk right now. But see how my down dog is also slightly longer. Keep breathing. Feel free to bend the knees. You wonder why we're doing this pose, because we all have the same problem as smart devices, whatever phones you have, we do this a lot. So the neck is always in a very vulnerable position. So that's a very good way to stretch your neck as well. Now, so that's all for shoulders and the neck. Let's move on to hips. The first one we'll do is called Malasana, or a yogic squat. So it looks something like this. If you watch my other video, you've probably seen me do this before, hands to heart center. However, if you have tighter hips, tighter ankles, or even if your back is super round, okay, in which case your heels might not be able to touch the ground. So you need to put 2 yoga blocks underneath the heels, and this should really help you come up a little bit higher like this. Now, I personally don't need that, so I'm just gonna stay here myself, hands to heart center. And now you can also start to pick up the cube, lift the chest up. And you notice that the width of the cube will help you stretch your knees a little bit wider. Let me turn to the other side so you can see, because without the, pay attention to my knees. Without the cube, my knees are this wide, but with the cube, my knees are this wide. Ooh, it feels good. Good, now from here, this is the starting position. And from here, you can also reach your arms up. If you have tight shoulders, you might find it quite hard. So if you can't straighten the arms completely, just keep them bent. But then ultimately, see if you can reach your arms up as high as you can. You can do this a few times as well. So this is a very good shoulder stretch and hip stretch, all in one. You can do 2 more. Feel free to keep the arms bent, but ultimately, arms straight if you can. Nice, and slowly release. We will hold on to the cube 7 and then come up to standing. Feel free to shake your legs. Nice. Now from here, we will place the cube 7 behind your butt, holding on. You're gonna start to fold forward. I need you to keep the knees bent as you fold. All right, so you relax your neck. From here, start to remove the cube 7 away from your hips. If your shoulders are super tight, this is probably where you are, and that's okay. Yeah, and then if your shoulders are more open, the cube might actually take you to a deeper position. But you need to pay a lot of attention here on how you get out in a bit. Feel free to stay here. And in here, if you want a deeper stretch, you might actually add a little bit more water. But I don't suggest too much water because you want it to be fairly safe. To come out, you must bend the knees first, and you bring the weight back to the center of gravity so you can come out safely. Because otherwise, if you yank yourself up to come up, you might actually hurt your shoulders. Okay? Put the cube aside. We'll do 1 round of sun salutation to further warm up the body, and then we'll add a little bit more towards the yoga practice. So bring your feet together, hands to heart center, close your eyes, come back to your breathing. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, sigh it out. Open your eyes. Inhale, raise arms up, and then in this sun salutation, we just do a normal sun salutation. No need to use the cube. Exhale, fold hands to the floor. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Hands to the ground, step back to plank pose. Shift the weight forward, bring the knees, chest and chin down to the ground. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Body in an inverted V shape. Remember, you can always bend the knees for 3, 2, and 1. Bring your feet together. Bend the knees, look forward, and step your feet to the front. Halfway lift, flat back. And then exhale, fold. Now inhale, bend your knees. We go straight into sun salutation B. You can start with the hands in front of you, or if you want to, just add a little bit of a strength there. You can add the cube. You can even, remember we did in Malasana, in the shoulder stretch, raise your arms up as well, but this can get quite hard. If this is too much, just keep the cube 7 forward for 3, 2, and 1. Straighten your legs first. Swing your cube 7 behind you, and then fold forward. Remember, we actually did this before. Have the cube away from your hips. Stretch out the shoulders for 3, 2. Remember how to come out. Bend your knees first. Bring it back to center line, and then slowly release. You can put it down to the side and come into plank pose. Hands to the floor. Step back. Lean forward, knees, chest, and chin to the ground. Inhale, roll up into cobra. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Now, lift your right leg up, inhale. Exhale, right foot in between the hands. And set the left knee down on the ground. Hands to the hips first. And use your hands to push your hips forward and back a few times, just to give you a little bit more of a hip flexor stretch there. Come back to the shoulder stretch. How do we do that? We pick up the cube 7 first. Yeah, you can do it with both hands, which is the easier version. Or if you're ready, one hand. Yeah? If you are more flexible there, again, remember what I said earlier. Remove the weight away from the center line. Yeah, so reach up. Keep breathing. If this is hard for you to balance, left hand to the floor. Hips forward for 3, 2, and 1. Now come back to center. Bring the weight back to center first. Bring it to the front. Push the back foot down to lift up, and warrior 2. So I'm going to just turn around so you can see with my right foot forward, left foot back, warrior 2 here. Keep breathing for 3. You can also look to the right hand side. 2 and 1. Now reach the cube 7 up. Side stretch again. So again, bring it behind your head. Yeah, you can also stay here or just let it drop. Okay, you can support yourself with the left hand and start to lean back a little bit more. Make sure your right knee is roughly 90 degrees for 3, 2, and 1. Now to come out, if you can't reach it back up, use the other hand to help. Yeah, and bring it down to the floor. We have the other side to do. So hands to the ground, plank pose. Okay, lean forward, knees, chest, and chin or chaturanga. Inhale, roll up. Exhale to downward facing dog. Okay, inhale, lift your left leg up. Exhale, left foot in between the hands. Okay, right knee down. I'm just going to turn around again. But you can just keep the left foot forward, right knee back, hands to the hips. Again, push it forward and back a few times. And you notice maybe you're sweating a little bit. You thought it's just a stretch. Yes, your body needs heat in order to stretch safely. So we have a little bit of a cardio here so that your body can go slightly deeper into the stretch. So where are we now? So pick up the cube 7. You can do it with both hands, shoulder stretch, or one hand. If you have more flexibility to play with, feel free to bring the right hand to the floor and reach back. Keep pushing the hips forward. For people who are slightly more advanced, the weight can be a little bit heavier, then your cube 7 can go lower. You can get a deeper shoulder stretch there for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release. Use your hands to help you if you can't. Swivel. Bring it to the front. Tuck the back toes down, belly in. Push down to lift up. Warrior 2, left side. Feel free to adjust the position of the feet. Keep breathing. Look at the left-hand side. Check that your front leg is 90 degrees. Back leg is absolutely straight for 3, 2, and 1. Now reach it up. Reverse warrior. So reach the arms back to begin with. Right hand to the leg. Bend the elbow and let it drop. Using your right hand to support your body if you need to. For 3, 2, and 1. Now both hands if you need that. Come back to center. Put it on the floor. We can take a Vinyasa here. So step your left foot back to plank. Lean forward. Knees, chest, and chin. Inhale, roll up. Exhale. Let's rest in child's pose. Feet together. Reach your arms forward. Close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths here. Now you're going to sit back up and take a look at the next demo. Your body should feel fairly warm and open at the same time. Now we can do some deeper back bends. Of course, if you have back pain, feel free to scale down a little bit. No need to go so deep. This is a Cube 7 and it's a round, kind of like a cushion and a firm foot cushion. So as we do back bends with Cube 7, it actually surprisingly creates a lot of support. So you will probably remember what Cobra looks like, which makes you look like a snake. But then now I will have the cube resting on my belly. Let me just fix this. Good. And then you simply rest in there. This is surprisingly comfortable. And I'm not gonna lie to you, because when I first tried it with Cube 7, I was like, I can stay here all day. Now, again, if this is too much for you, feel free to bring the Cube 7 a little bit more forward and your hands further forward. Yeah, so this is good for people with back pain. You know, whether you have back pain or not is very good for you either. However, I'm just gonna give you some advice, especially those expecting mothers. This is obviously not suitable for you, yeah? So you will watch other videos from the channel to see other modifications. However, if we want to proceed, if you feel open enough, you can bring the Cube 7 a little bit closer to your groins so you feel a little bit more upright, lifting the chest, keep breathing. Feel free to keep supporting your body with your hands. Lift the chest. Good. Now let's play with bow pose. We're gonna start with one hand only. Now, doesn't really matter which start with which hand. So I'm gonna walk my left hand forward first. I'm gonna start bending my right knee. I reach the right foot with my right hand, but this leg, my right foot, right leg wants to kick back. Yeah? So I'm not just hanging out here. My right leg is pretty active there. So keep kicking back for 5, 4. You can keep the head center. I keep looking back to the camera, but you shouldn't be doing that. 4, 3, 2, and 1. That's a very nice lower back and shoulder stretch. Now let's change side. Right hand forward on the kind of like the top right hand corner of the mat. Bend your left knee. Catch the foot and kick. Lifting the chest, strong in the legs. Now, if you want to, if this is enough for you, you just repeat on the same side. But see how I'm starting to move my hand, my right hand now. So if you can feel light enough, your right hand actually, you don't need it for the support. In which case, what do we do? We bend the other knee and catch both feet. Make sure you kick back. Suck the belly in. If you can look up, look up. Otherwise, look forward. It's also fine. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release, one hand at a time. And then come back to child's pose again. In this child's pose, If you want a shoulder stretch as well, you can place your hands on the cube and just allow your head to hang. Eventually, give it some time, your head might touch the floor. Take a few more deep breaths. Good. Now, slowly roll yourselves back up. Last but not least, we're just going to close the practice with a counter stretch. So when we do back bends, a good counter stretch will be a foot forward fold. We just do it on the floor. Now, a lot of times people would just want to touch the toes like this. No. I want you to keep the chest lifted, so I pretend I have very tight hamstrings. I'm gonna do it with the knees bent. I'm gonna lift the chest first and then hold on to the feet. If you want to, make it a little bit more comfortable, you can rest this here and just stay there. Eventually, maybe legs straight, maybe rest your head on the cube. But try not to round your back too much, because what we've done in this session today is to really find space in the spine, doing a lot of back bend, and this is a very nice way to close it without sacrificing any of the space that we just created earlier. Take a few more deep breaths. Good. Now slowly come back up and release. Feel free to lie down and rest. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed the practice. If you have any question, you can leave your question in comments below. My name is Victor. I'll see you next time.